what's up? What's up? What's up? Ain't nobody on here yet, but that's okay. Because there's always replay. I gotta let my girl know I'm on live. On live now. It's all the way live. It's all the way live. Cause it's a Friday night. How y'all doing? Man, got through this week still with all 10 toes, 10 fingers, and hardly any eyesight. But that's okay. How y'all doing anyhow? I hope you had a wonderful Friday. I did, especially when it was over. Yes, yes. I love Fridays when they're over. When the kids go home and the screaming stops and my wings stop is what's happening tonight. Wingstop. Yes. I'm not going to sit here and be rude and eat it in y'all's face, but just letting you know, hey, it's on and popping with the Wingstop. I had to get on and make my face look presentable because, man, I looked at my video from yesterday. Man, it looked like somebody just drugged me literally over concrete. Not mud, concrete. But that's okay. That is okay. I got somebody up in here in the chat. I'm not sure who yet. I have a sneaky suspicion who. I am now officially on my water binge. Because me and them medicine balls, first of all, they cost too much. Second of all, I think they're the culprit behind my stomach all bloated up. Because I doctor them up. Hey, my love. How are you? That's my baby. Did y'all win tonight? Did you guys play tonight? Yes, yeah. Hey, hey. I'm trying to be young again. Trying to be young again. Ooh. I'm falling apart, though, on my clothes. You good? Good. That's good. Did you guys play this evening or this afternoon? I hope he did. Uh-oh, let me get this thing straight. If my iPad falls, it ain't serious. Oh, you guys played Edge Prep from Canada. You played them already, or you're going to play them? I'm so glad this is Friday. I can sleep in the morning. Kick Daddy a couple times. Hey, wake up. Oh, you won. Good. What was the score? I know y'all whooped them. Please tell me you whooped them. I'm glad you won, but it's so nice when you whoop them. Give them that down-home beating. Oh, man. I don't know if I like chats on the iPad. Because I feel like I'm just staring at myself. Because the things don't pop up until... and then they disappear. Oh, you won by 14. Well, that's good. That's a good lead. Absolutely. You're going to get you some rest tonight, I hope. Because I'm sure you guys got games tomorrow, huh? My friend was supposed to hop on the chat. We play tomorrow in the afternoon. Okay. Okay. Yeah, get you some rest. Absolutely. Is it early afternoon or late afternoon? Doesn't matter. You still need some rest. That's always good. Always good. Mama misses you. I can't wait to see you. Okay. Okay, I'll be here. I ain't going nowhere. You go ahead and tend to what you got to tend to. I love you. I'm drinking my water. I got my water. I'm not a fan, but it's better than being parched. And this bottle want to fall over for some reason. Man. I love you. I love you too, baby. I'll see you soon. I'll see you real soon. I'm just going to sit here and wait for other people to show up in the chat. I know. I know. Yay. Yay. I can't wait. I'll be glad to see Kai too. Yeah. Well, congratulate your team for me. Oh, God. Let me grab something out of the fridge. Oh, Lord. Mother Jones is here for a moment. Sometimes I feel like her, though. Oh, Jesus. Hallelujah. Ain't nobody here. But it's only been 8 minutes, so I can't complain. I won't complain. One of my favorite songs, I won't complain. God has been good to me. He's been good to me. More than this whole world or you could ever be. He's been so good to me. He dried all of my tears away, turned my midnights into days. So I'll say thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I won't complain. Ooh, man, I wish I could still sing. But yes, God has been good to me. Been very, very, very good to me. More than this old world could ever see. He's been so good to me. Welcome, number one. How you doing? Hit the like button. How you doing? Hit the like button. How you doing? Hit the like button. You just missed my little solo. Oh, and you just left. Wow. Oh well, that's okay. I got friends here on YouTube. They'll drop in eventually. Maybe. It's Friday night, you never know. Whew, it is hot. It is hot in here. I even got my backup iPad. Just in case this one craps out. But then that means that I would have to put on a whole new iPad. A whole new live. Anyway, since I'm going to sit here and talk to the screen, I might as well talk about things that people might be interested in if they come on the replay. So, I don't want to talk about Diddy. I did see something curious today about Ray J, but I didn't watch the whole interview. But it was still interesting nevertheless. He says if he really opens his mouth and starts naming names, they're going to kill him. And I mean, he wasn't meaning that, figuratively. He meant that literally. So this whole industry thing, it doesn't start with Diddy. It's bigger than Diddy. I did see something on, oh God, I can't even remember what I was watching, but man, there was so much information as to how this demonic stuff is going on in the industry. Not just the music industry, definitely not just rap industry, but Hollywood, entertainment. We'll just put it like that, because it doesn't just live in Hollywood. It's East Coast, West Coast. It's everywhere now, but especially in America. This demonic spirit that is just literally engulfing entertainment is scary. Scary. I wrote notes. I'm not a great note taker. However, what I was reading last night was or hearing last night was just so crazy. I had to write it down because if I wanted to speak it again, I don't want to be incorrect. They talked about Diddy, they talked about Jay-Z, they talked about Beyonce, Oprah, man, all kinds of people. J-Lo. Yeah, they said Beyonce is a witch. Her and Jay-Z are off into that, what we already kind of assumed and knew. They're off into that black magic Illuminati stuff and practicing witchcraft. What I didn't know is that Jay-Z has been very enthralled with darkness for quite some time. He had this thing about an English occultist named Aleister Crowley. I don't know if anybody out there is familiar with Aleister Crowley. He's founder of Crowleyanism, which makes sense. Crowley's his last name, right? Okay. But apparently in 2007, for instance, Jay-Z wore a hoodie that had the image of Aleister Crowley on the front. Aleister he's been believed to be the most evil man to ever walk the earth. That's crazy to be into this guy. And along with his face on the hoodie, below it, it said, do what thou willest. This was a quote by Crowley, and this was worn by Jay-Z. He's also emulated by figures such as Led Zeppelin and Ozzy Osbourne. Y'all know who them two are. They into that crazy rock and roll kind of stuff. And it was funny because back in the day, when Ozzy Osbourne and Led Zeppelin were very popular, they did the real crazy stuff on stage. Especially Ozzy Osbourne, he was nuts. There was another one named Alice Cooper, and he used to perform with snakes and stuff around his neck, just messing with bats. And I can't remember who it was, if it was Alice Cooper or Ozzy Osbourne, that incorporated into their show biting off the heads of bats. Yeah, that's nasty. But people loved it. And I guess they didn't look at it as being satanic. But guess what? It was. It was satanic. Do I have some peoples in the chat while I'm running my mouth? I'd like somebody to run their mouth at me. Talk to me, baby. Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. Yeah, but oh, they said white parties started long before Diddy. Long before Diddy. Apparently, the white clothing connection is connected to voodoo. Imagine that. You would think it would be black, but it's white for some reason. But Diddy was not always practicing voodoo. He didn't start really getting involved with voodoo until he hooked up with J-Lo. Because J-Lo apparently practices that Santeria voodoo. Santeria and voodoo. I don't know what Santeria encompasses. I've heard of it before. It's kind of like a religion, but it's not, it's not a godly religion, I'll put it like that. But yeah, white is the symbol of purity, which we've always known that, but why it's important to do that in voodoo is weird. It's just weird. But Diddy's got a tattoo on his back, and it was always presumed that this was a tattoo of Mary and Jesus. That's not who that is on his back. Apparently, it is an actual tattoo of something called Insudity Danto. Some patron of men. The patron of men that like men. Yeah, that's it. That's in voodoo. Insudity. I don't even know if I wrote it correctly or spelled it correctly. Last would be Danto, Danto. So 2 words, first name, last name. Insudity Danto. And Insudity Danto is the patron of men who like men in voodoo. So that's what that tattoo stands for on his back. It's just some crazy stuff. They talked about Oprah. One guy actually said, and I had to think about it, how did Oprah become a billionaire? Think about it. How did Oprah become a billionaire? It wasn't from that talk show. Because if that was we'd have had Phil Donahue. Donahue would have been a millionaire, and he was white. Who else? Merv Griffin. We going back now. Y'all probably ain't never heard of Merv Griffin. But a lot of talk show hosts back then She's the only one that became a multi-billionaire, not millionaire, billionaire. So what did she do to gain that kind of wealth? And for those who don't know, it is let me get each together. It is suspected that Oprah is involved with child. Hey, you're in traffic over there. I gotta be careful how I say things, because YouTube be tripping. So apparently she's involved, allegedly, in the selling of little people to other countries, namely England. I know that she was really pushing that John of God dude, and he was found to be involved with the baby farming and selling those babies to people in Europe before they threw his twat in jail. So she, once that happened, she quickly had that affiliation buried down in the ground with other dead things. But they believe that she is part of a thing called the Good Club. And the Good Club is also affiliated with Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and George Soros. And their MO is depopulation. That's scary. That's scary. I'm not sure about Elon Musk, but anybody that promotes charity to get you, it's evil. It's just evil. That's what Satan does. He gives you a lot of nice, flashy things to want, and you can actually almost touch it. And you gotta say, yeah, I want it, I want it, I want it. And he said, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do to get it? And I'll do anything, I'll do anything. Oh, will you? Or won't you? And they end up doing it. And then guess what? You're stuck. Stuck like Chuck. Man. But there's been all kind of crazy stuff out there for years and years and years. Even her affiliation with the land that she bought in Hawaii. Wasn't that kind of shady? Her and The Rock got together and they put up like, what, $1 billion each? Wait, how much was it? $5 million a piece. Now that's a drop in the bucket for Oprah. But that's a lot of money for The Rock. I don't think he was really entangled with her motives, allegedly. I'm going to have to start saying that word a lot more, allegedly, because I hear it, it's supposed to cover us, because, we've got the fair use thing, but that ain't stopping people from suing folks. And if anybody want to come and sue me, feel free, because you ain't going to get nothing. Too bad, so sad. And I'm not speaking no untruths. I said allegedly. Not saying you actually are affiliated with these things. However, if you're going to sue me, you better start with the folks to put it out there in them streets in the first place. How about that? How about that? But yeah, she was involved with that John of God dude. He was some kind of a guru. She called him her spiritual guide and all this. That dude turned out to be a criminal for days. Just doing the most. But if you notice, the real demonic stuff that's going down these days is really going after children. And that's the part that's got me up my panties in a bunch. Because Satan couldn't get all the grown-ups, so he's just going to go after the babies before they even have sense enough to know better. They going after them in the schools. They're going after him in the video games, in the TV shows, even cartoons. You know, my grandson brought home from school a game in his backpack that he checked out, excuse me, from the library. Turned out it was a Ouija board and some kind of witchcraft game that went with it. But the fraudulent part of this so-called Ouija board, which it was an actual Ouija board, it just had cartoonish type characters on it to gain the interest of the child. So Satan is cunning. He's very cunning. He knows exactly what attracts these kids. Technology, of course, it plays its role as well. But the schools are dumping this stuff on these kids left and right, just dumping them. They can go to the library. Now, let me give you my disclaimer about the rainbow people, the alphabet soup. You do what you want to do behind closed doors. I have no heaven or hell to put you in myself. I don't. And it's about choice. You know, people make their choices and they have their ideas of why they do it, and God bless you. You know, I'm not going to condemn you, but what I will say is this: I don't roll like that. I just don't. Just like you don't roll like me. I don't roll like you. You don't roll like me. If that's what you do behind closed doors, do you, boo? Because I'm certainly going to do what I want to do behind closed doors. And it has nothing to do with you. That's between me and my husband. You know, it doesn't even have anything to do with the people that agree with me. That's our business. And what y'all do is your business. I'm not going to condemn you and mistreat you as if you're not a human being simply because I don't agree with who you choose to sleep with. Point blank, period. I can't make that call. That's between you and God. You know, and that's all I'm going to say on that subject. But what I will say is this: I will not stand for anybody shoving that down the throats of children without their parents' permission. Now, what parents want to teach their kids, that's one thing. That's one thing. They teach the sex education in schools at a much younger age. I had a client whose child, she was entering she was entering kindergarten this past September. She wasn't even 6 yet. And when they went through the little orientation thing at her school that she was going to go to, they were asking this little girl questions about her sexuality. And I'm like, why would you even be talking to a child that young about that? Kids aren't supposed to be thinking about that kind of thing at that age. But these laws have made it possible to shove that stuff down the kid's throat. And I'm sorry, I'm not standing for it. Not mine. No. I can't do nothing about other people's kids, but for me and mine, and when I say mine, I'm talking about my grandchildren. I ain't standing for that. I would homeschool them first before I'd allow a school to take over the rights of the parents. Because the parents don't even get notification that this stuff is going on. It just so happens that the kids might mention something. But parents, you know, thinking their child is at school learning ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, and they're at school learning about girl on girl, boy on boy. Exploring your body. That ain't your place. That's not your place. Now, when I was younger, when I was in elementary school, I think we had to be in the 5th or 6th grade for them to do the little sex education class. And we all thought it was a big deal. They would separate all the girls and they'd separate all the boys. And the boys would go in one room and we would stay in the room, you know, all girls. And they would show us how we were built and what to expect out of our bodies as we grow. that was acceptable. Because whether you go this way or this way and who you sleep with, those things are going to happen to your body regardless. Whether you're gay or straight, your females are going to have periods. You know, dudes are going to go through whatever they go through. I'm not a dude, so I can't tell you what they go through physically. A dude could tell you better than me. But to have a class under the auspices of sex education, and they're pushing not only the body changing, if they even touch on that, they delve off into stuff that they ain't got no business talking to these kids about. So I'm just saying what I'm saying. It's a crazy world we're living in right now when our parents don't have the right to um, decide, and they can decide. There are actions that they can take, but it might harm the child. The child may not go to school for a whole week because they're going to be teaching this crazy stuff in school. So they withhold the child from school, or they put the parents at a loss. Maybe somebody has to quit their job to stay home and homeschool their child because they don't want Satan to teach them. Go figure. So we're gonna have to cut back on how much we eat, and whatever we do in terms of entertainment and all this. We're gonna have to cut back on all that because one of us ain't working, and one of us has got to stay home and teach little man or little girl school. It's messed up. But I have a feeling a lot of that's going to change soon. Yes. Whew, what a crazy world we live in. What else did they talk about? I took a lot of notes. I sure did. They talked about the Roman Catholic Church and the PDF files. Y'all know what that is, right? The connection between them and Epstein and Elon Musk. Back in the day, remember, did anybody ever hear of Bohemian Grove? If you're an older person, you might remember. You might even remember if it was a little younger than me. There's Bilderberg and then there's Franklin. I'm not sure what those entail, but I remember Bohemian Grove because it was some kind of an annual thing where these very rich and elite people would go over a weekend to some woods somewhere. And they would have these rituals at night with this big owl. And they would set the owl on fire. It's just, and for years they tried to deny that existed until somebody actually went out there and filmed it. Way back in the back of the woods. Hopefully they didn't get caught. But at some point in time, you could see a small boat on the lake. And it's dark, it's outside, but they've got all this lighting, enough for them to see around them because they're in the woods, and they've got this big, huge owl on this big podium. It's very, 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 very big. And you see this small boat come along, and it was alleged to have a sacrificial baby in it. I don't know. I don't know one way or another. But I know that it's not a secret that those crazy satanic type of rituals involve sacrifices. And they ain't sacrificing no goats and hogs. They sacrificing people. That's what I believe, at least. So I'm kind of glad. I'm glad I got out of watching CNN all the time because you know what? I would have never heard all that stuff on CNN. CNN is there to give you semi good news. You know, they'll give you the bad news in terms of just what they think that will keep our attention off of what's really happening. And that's why I'm glad I don't really delve into mainstream news anymore. We're in a time of enlightenment. We're in a definite time of revelation. And things are coming out that you would never think would be possible even 5 years ago. Espionage techniques to get people to join. Kind of sound like Diddy, don't it? They drug you, then they film you doing some ratchet, foul, sexual stuff. And then when you come to, they say, gotcha. Now you're going to join us. That's espionage kind of stuff. It's crazy. Real crazy. Well, I've been on here for 36 minutes. I had one person to jump on the chat and actually talk to me. And that was my son. Shout out to my son, Barry. Barry Jr. But nobody else came by. Boo-hoo. So I guess I'm just going to jump out of here because, you know, hey, I'd have thought by now somebody would have jumped on. Maybe I'll give it a few more minutes. How about that? Hold on a second. I'll be right back. At least I got 3 likes. So somebody came in here and gave me that. Somebody came in briefly, long enough to give me a like, and then jetted. That's very nice of you. Oh, maybe I'm not getting anybody in here because everybody's in Lashana's chat. Let's see. Oh, man. I'm missing the fight. No wonder nobody's in here. Man, oh, man. Well, you know what? I'm going to have to hop off of here. And I got to see just what happens between Mike Tyson and Jay Paul. You have a wonderful evening, and I'll hop on later. Take care. Bye.